You guys all continue to shower us with tweets, and we love it so much. We got another tweet in from you guys at home, so let's go ahead and check it out here. It's from Mike Metcalf. Oh, he works at Blizzard. He's a cool guy. Team Liquid coming out swinging the day, on track for the 10-0. And yeah, it's something that's very impressive about Team Liquid, you know? Even though there are some doubts around them in the top 3, maybe not being fantastic, and maybe next week they may get their first loss against some of the big guys, they are still a team here that has come into the HGC online and been undefeated, and that deserves a ton of respect.
It definitely does. We still have to always put it into perspective. They haven't, in this part, faced any of the big 3 yet.
Yeah.
And that's, of course, their biggest contenders to face down here. So today, this is in the game that they're expected to win, and the last map looked very good. On the first one, Synergy, having their chances, making a good standing in the early game, but on Cursed Hollow, Team Liquid showed up.
All right, we'll see if Team Liquid can continue to be here in the match, or will Synergy show up even more? Let's find out the battleground that we are going to for Game 3. The answer will be Tomb of the Spider Queen. Synergy with the choice, Team Liquid with first pick.
Yeah, so Synergy gives up their first pick. They have, of course, the choice what they want here since they lost the last one. And now they chose to go onto a battleground. They are 0-2, so they choose one of their stronger battlegrounds, saying, okay, guys, we need to win this one. So they are even willing to give up the battleground, the first pick, just so that they can determine which battleground to play on. And they need to come back swinging because they need to win 3 in a row if they want to make this happen.
I think Synergy also prefers to have second pick because they get that 1 and 2 slot. They're able to lock in their Vala and whatever support they want, which is typically that Auriel. Because when it comes down to it, you don't really want to ban out Vala or Auriel in the ban phase.
It's also another one of the maps where we don't have this high priority on the globals. Of course, you can still use the Falset and the Haka here,
sure,
but it's not going to put you into that same awkward position that we oftentimes see on bigger maps. Sky Temple, for example. So here you can play around that a lot more than you can on bigger maps.
Okay, well, let's figure out the bans for our teams here. Something to know is that we have seen in the past Synergy run Rexar on this battleground on the bottom as their bottom laner, so that could be a possibility here. However, with it being Synergy and then being a spot, I think they should put a high priority on getting their Vala and their double support. That is the cream of the crop for them.
This is an Auriel is immediately being banned out. I just love, this is one of the reasons why I love that we are running a league now, because you have these teams being very familiar with each other, studying non-stop, doing their research, looking at an opponent and seeing, okay, this and this is meta, but what is our opponent playing? What do they value? What do they want on specific maps? And Team Liquid just says that double support Vala is not going to happen here. So Auriel is immediately out of the question, and then we have the ban on Tacita, Gul'dan picked up as a first pick, so once again, horrifying option. It's absolutely awesome to see teams prepare this heavily against each other.
Well, normally we would have Hydra tweeting to complain about his hero being banned out. You think Sefka is going to start dropping his tweets here? Auriel no longer being there, one of his favorites to pull off. Unfortunate for them. Now, again, they can still pick up Vala, but yes, the 2 tools that make Vala very good start to fall behind here. The Auriel and the Tacita are probably one of the best supports there for just empowering her to be really a beast in the field. So Synergy now forced to adapt. They move into a Nubarak and Greymane for the first and second pick.
Very early here, prioritizing Nubarak even over Arthur's, which is usually the first pick on the sense. But again, against Gul'dan, against any potential mage, he gains more value even. So in this case, a Nubarak already for the dive together with a Greymane. Both of them can go into that backline. Very likely that we're going to see a second tank picked for Synergy. The question, of course, remains what Team Liquid is going to prioritize now. They still have Arthurs available for them. This is a map where we also have oftentimes Johanna picked over other heroes, since the wave clear is really important here. So there's definitely still options when we're talking about the front line.
Arthas and Malfurion seem to be the go-to for me here. First off, you get one of the best warriors in the game, and the Malfurion behind Auriel is one of the best supports for keeping him with the mana always fluctuating there, that innervate being so helpful. There is still a case for Lucio and the strength of him on this battleground. The flotations between lanes are so helpful. You're able to really use that movement speed, and you also have a lot of walls to bounce off, so you have some talents that really work out for him there.
Yeah, Lucio is something that Splenda seems to enjoy also a lot. He had the hero on several maps now, and he had a pretty huge impact in the victory in the last game too. And there we have it again. So the Lucio and Arthur's combo. I agree with you that they could have gone into the Malfurion. It just feels that at this point it caters more towards their style and what they're successful with. Just allow those fast rotations between lanes. Make sure that Arthur has an engaged and a disengaged potential. So Lucio is also allowing Splendor himself to make more plays.
Yeah, Splendor loving to make those plays there. I think it's one of the reasons why Lucio's enjoyed so much. Now as a support, you finally get to go in and be that guy that drops in the big boop, and from there, set yourself up for a team fight. Now, Synergy thinking about their next ban here. In terms of possibilities, you can ban out a bottom laner if you're wanting to give your Hydra player here a good chance to actually handle that lane well. There's also the possibility of getting rid of a second tank or a second healer.
Auto attacker is another thing that you could get rid of right now. You have to also keep in mind that with the setup that was Falstad, that would be disengaged. The one thing that I want to highlight real quickly is that Lucio, of course, is still lacking the cleanse. So this is something that Synergy might try to exploit. Other teams have done that. Judgment Uthas, Hunt Illidan's, everything that you can just use to lock onto a single target is very good with this. So it's one of the weaknesses that he definitely has here. Falstad is mostly used as a disengage in this setup. I'm curious to see if Synergy really wants to commit to this heavy dive on one person and blow them up strategy, because Greymane would cater towards it, and then Nubarak would also not be too bad as a follow-up to go in.
Speaking of that type of composition you were mentioning, I had a couple of tweets on Twitter asking about the Butcher being a possibility for one of those Lambda Slaughters and a Lucio's. Now, it can be a possibility. One of the main problems with a Butcher or Lambda Slaughter is usually you want to have Lambda Slaughter and some kind of follow-up, which you naturally get with normal tanks like the Varian that actually can handle a beating. The problem with the Butcher is he can't handle a beating, especially in this composition. If you were to look at it, Gul'dan and Arthas just shuts him down so heavily. But yes, to answer your question, that can be something used, but it's not something you're going to see very often in the HGC.
Yeah, one of the things that okay, Malfurion is being banned out, even more supports being limited. I don't really think that, I'm not even sure if Synergy would have even picked the Malfurion. They're known as a team that just loves to go into a Karazim, into a Rhaegar, just all these tools that Sefka has for himself. But I feel Team Liquid is just eliminating things that they said, okay, this could be a problem for us, we don't want to deal with this. Having that good Twilight Dream, let's just make sure that this is not going to become an issue for us here. But going now into the bans, into the picks for Synergy, this is something that I'm very interested in, because Varian is another option that they have. If they want to go in with a taunt, charge taunt, a Nubarak follow-up, Greymane jumping in, they have really a lot of options when it comes to the tanks. It's just a question of how much they value the wave clear on their front line.
Yeah.
Then Johanna would, for example, be a very good option here. Or the Arthas are, of course, also taken away. So for me, it's between mostly Johanna and Varian.
Yeah, they're the top two tanks that do pop up there. There is a possibility for a Muradin simply because of his power of Dream. He likes to play the Muradin, but I don't think it works here with the Greymane and Nubarak composition. I think I agree with you in that regard. So Chromie and Rhaegar are the pickups here for Synergy.
All right, Chromie Rhaegar being picked. I like that. The Rhaegar was either Rhaegar or Karazim, one of the two. But now we have the Chromie in play. That's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it will be. You get the poke on the Boca line with Gul'dan. You get the engage fully with the Lucio. We've seen it in the past. And Poro loop into Lucio is just so hard to play around as Lucio. You have to pretty much just go ahead and use your shield barrier right away. And if that can be done before the fight even breaks out, that's a win in Chromie's book.
Varian or Tyrael, Judgment. One of the two.
Yeah?
Just lock him down and kill them.
Yeah, just blow him up. Hit the buttons. Go in.
What else are you going to do with this? I mean, you look at that draft now, and yes, a Johanna, you can play with the Johanna here, but I'm not so sure. I really feel if you want to bring the pain, then you go for a target that can lock him down. We have seen the Tyraels with the Judgment, leaning a bit more towards the Varian again. So I would like to see the Varian go in with a taunt, Chromie, capitalize on it. You have no cleanse on the other side. There's the Medivh that comes into play. I like that choice from Team Liquid. Yeah. This is a really important one in my opinion. Not only against the Chromie, but also against what could happen now on Synergy's side. So this is a bit of, this changes the dynamic slightly.
Yeah, the Varian definitely falls much harder with the Medivh, and I think you just have to go with the Johanna. You need your wave clear. You need to stick in the game somehow, because Chromie's major weakness not being able to clear lanes, and if you don't pick up the Johanna, suddenly you have to think about grabbing Mobius Loop at level 7. Don't pick up that talent. It's so hard to actually pull off and be effective with. You pick up Chromie because you want to blow folks up, and if you take that Mobius Loop, you lose out on damage.
They have to decide what they want to do now. It's basically single target. Do we commit fully to it, or do we go into more wave clear? That's the two options that they have. But I love the Medivh. That's a very, very smart pick by Team Liquid. Lucio's problem is really that lack of a cleanse, and also that he doesn't have that heavy burst heal outside of his ult. Medivh compensates for that to a large extent, so it was a smart choice by Team Liquid to use Medivh as a setup just to negate some of those weaknesses. But Synergy, it's a tough choice. They run down the clock, and it is Probius.
Okay, they're doing solo Nubarak. So this answers the wave clear problem we were talking about. It just doesn't have any durability on the front line. But hey, if you're poking from the side and having Greymane there to follow up for a kill, it could work out.
I was thinking about Probius when we started the draft, but after the initial picks, I was completely disregarding Probius here. I was thinking mostly not. The reason why I thought, well, we very quickly gave up on the Probius is because Probius is very strong when you engage into a direct battle, a 1 versus 1. He starts to fall off a bit once you have heroes trying to gank. Every kind of gank setup against Probius can be very annoying since the probe dies pretty quickly if it's not able to move out there. So you have all of a sudden Lucio against you. That's a bit of an issue. And you have now a Medivh with portals. So you have someone that allows quick rotations between lanes, much faster than on any other map to set ganks up. And you have also the portal also for the gank setup. So them committing to a Probius here is basically them saying, yes, we know that Hydra is strong enough and map aware enough to not fall into these traps. Personally, I thought when I saw those heroes for Team Liquid, there's no way they go into Probius. They are going to try and one trick that's a little bit with either the Varian or the Johanna, playing it as a double tank. This is interesting, and it shows a risk. I mean, it's a risk, but it also shows a lot of faith into the abilities of Hydra.
Yeah, it's a bold move, and I'm not sure I'm even buying it here. Just again, that Medivh just really ruins the plans of Probius and Chromie here, and that's 2 heroes on your lineup that could be dead weight if they get the engage they want. It requires Team Liquid to be decisive, but we've seen in the past that they are decisive. Let's go into game number 3 here. Tomb of the Spider Queen. Let's figure out who's going to walk away with this series.
The game is on, and it might be the last map of the day here at HGC Europe, depending on what Synergy can do now. They start to the left with Hydra and Probius. We have a Nubarak played by Power of Dreams, Sevka on Rhaegar's Ice Cream on Greymane, and Neon on Chromie.
Ooh, componing Aether there for Neon. Nice, I like that talent. Okay, so for Team Liquid here on the left, it's Medivh here, being played by Hasuwabs. The last time he played, he had 2 play of the games for the day, so let's watch out for that. Sonya on Darkmok, Lucio on Splendor. We're going to have Nurok being played by Gul'dan, and Blumby will play Arthas. Let's watch our teams as they collide here in the middle.
I'm really curious to see what Hydra can pull off with Probius here. It's a hero they played before on Sky Temple, basically just trying to push those lanes out quite heavily, and Hydra did an excellent job on it. This is the 3rd time in HGC Europe that we have Probius played, and so far he sits at a 50% win ratio. Once Expert used him on Braxis holdout and won the match, and the next time Probius was utilized on Sky Temple by Synergy when they lost the game in the end. This is the 3rd time, so let's see what the Probe can do.
So far, Team Liquid has already done a good job of playing against Hydra. They'll burn down any of the pylons or even the photon cannon as soon as they can, but that does open the window for both Greymane and Chromie to be very efficient here. They can drop down the componing Aether, and they can bring in their Sandblast, or they can drop down the Cocktail. So watch out for that there. If Team Liquid groups up too heavily on the actual infrastructure that Probius builds, that gives opportunities for Synergy to get damage in.
I have to admit that I'm happy to see Neon and Chromie, and Neon was one of the first competitive Chromie players that we had in Europe. I actually believe he was the first. Back in the days when he was playing with ADR.
Over Chris?
Yeah.
Okay.
Long before that.
Wow.
He played it together when he was still with ADRD in a team. They drafted Chromie several times. One of the maps where they drafted Chromie was Infernal Shrines, and he had an absolutely fantastic Chromie back then. But I haven't seen him on that hero, at least in competitive play, for a long, long time, so I'm super happy to observe that again. Question, of course, always, is it enough to take down Team Liquid after that massive stomp we just observed on Cursed Hollow?
Yeah, I think he's played it once. He did it in HGC Week 3, but we haven't seen it at all. It's been much more of the Schwimpy train. We even seen Chris played a little bit here, but it's cool to see that Neon's going back to his roots of the old Chromester. So we're going to have our wave clear between our 2 teams continuing. It's all about Probius rotating between top and middle. He has to be careful, though, because if that does get spotted here by Team Liquid, they can drop down a portal in between that rotation and jump on Probius. He will have to hit that Z button as quickly as possible.
Yeah, Probius needs to be super careful. This is the one thing that I was so worried about when we were starting into the draft, that if they draft Probius, they would have to deal with these fast rotations, thanks to Lucio and now also, of course, the Medivh. So that is something to watch out for.
This is actually clever. Look how they keep throwing the pylon here in the middle so they get the vision. That allows for Probius to actually rotate between the middle and the top.
Yeah, the plays with the vision, this is something that works really well here for them. But down to the bottom of the map, this is where the party starts, and Nubarak gets the Nubarekt, goes down, and that's a couple of gems lost, not too many. But this is what Team Liquid wants to do. Aggressive rotations with the help of Lucio and Medivh, enabling quick kills against targets.
Eldor, I'm so proud of you. Your PPW continues to go up every time that we cast. I love it, man. Your puns per the weekend, it continues to increase. It makes me so happy. You're at 7 right now for the weekend.
Wait, you're counting?
Yeah, I got it written down here in the book, man. Just mark it down every single time. Caldor the Pun Master.
Nah, I'll leave that for you.
All right, so we're back to the middle of here. Synergy 5-5. We're going to have our pickup here for Chromie. It is going to be Dragon's Eye, so there will be some explosions. There are a couple of options to go into. Temporal Loop is possible if you can time out the Force of Wills from the Medivh. It is difficult, though. I would actually prefer slowing Sands here to allow Probius to be effective, but also so you have control over the portals. You can drop it down right when they come out.
Team Liquid is really setting this up aggressively, though. The rotations that they have are very, very strong, and they are currently controlling both of the turn-in spots, I want to say. We have enough gems on both sides now to get a complete turn-in. Actually, not quite. We're still missing a few when we're looking at Team Synergy. So they need to grab a few more, but Neon should be able to help with the interrupts. Once again, a Nubarak attacked the bot lane. Dartmok is low, but Power should be able to move out of this one. Gets away. They still have Chromie around. He tries to lock the target down. That didn't work out. And in the meantime, Probius is just moving between lanes, trying to push the waves back.
Yeah, Probius trying to hang out with Gul'dan, but Gul'dan doing enough to put pressure on the top. They actually miss out on some experience here. There is enough gems for both teams to turn in here and start getting the web weavers pushing. Blumby going for an aggressive play, just barely missing Neon.
Yeah, Neon could still feel that. And oh my god, that was a good attempt to take down Lucio. But Hazops is once again there. Power of Dreams now, on the other hand. He's in a bit of trouble. And does he have the cooldown ready? He does, but it's not enough. In comes kill number 2, Team Liquid, with 2 kills against the Nubarak already.
That's the one thing I don't like about Lucio. Whenever you try to burrow away, if his 4 auto attacks come in, no matter how far distance you go, you get connected with those 4 auto attacks, and they connect and they take out the Nubarak.
I'm really asking myself if the original idea for Synergy was to go into a double tank here. And Nubarak as a solo tank at the front line, I'm not the biggest fan of it. And it has worked in the past, but normally with double support. So right now you can really see how it's a very rough time for Nubarak at the front against what Team Liquid is fielding here. The Sonya and also the Arthurs. And then also constant damage, of course, from those backlines. But yeah, or if they change the draft here. But Nubarak is definitely struggling a bit. Let's see if that continues into the mid-game. It should be getting a bit better for him once level 10 is in.
This is where it gets terrifying, though, for Synergy. If they fall too behind here, it's going to be hard for them to defend. They have their Rhaegar and their Chromie in the bottom to help clear out the spot, but Blumby and Splinter has enough pressure to keep them back. Temporal Loop does come out. Here goes a combo. Splinter does get focused down. Doesn't quite hit the full Dragon's Eye, I believe. I think it barely missed, which means that Splinter doesn't take the extra damage, and he survives.
I mean, Neon is doing what he can now, but once again, we're having Hydra helping out after he himself also eliminated the Web Weaver to the top lane. At the bottom of the map, we have a fort about to fall. This one is getting really low, and Hazops is just flying around there. And is going to make sure that nobody dies. He can always drop the portal back in. He has his shield as well available, a Force of Will. And Team Liquid is looking strong here. They get the level 10, and that should be a double turn-in for them. If they play correctly, they should be able to turn in once more.
Yeah, they have those 40 gems to drop in, but Synergy goes in for their own turn in. Haas will have to delay it. Leyline Seal hits the probe.
Yeah, the probe in trouble, gets cleansed and able to move away. Oh, leap! Leap, and they take down Probius. Leap and Horrify being used. Using Sonya as an engage against Probius on top of everything else that they already have in the field with portals, with Howling Blast, Horrifies, and of course that speed bonus thanks to Lucio.
Team Liquid is in a great spot here to engage. They have portals, they now have Sonya Leap, they have Horrify. Synergy will have to tiptoe around team fights just to make sure their squishy characters, Chromie, Rhaegar, and Probius, aren't focused down. And they have a tank that doesn't do very good with peeling here without a Nubarak, so this will be a difficult task for them to handle this pressure from Team Liquid.
Team Liquid is just invading everything now. They even go for the camp, try to steal that away. Medivh is already setting up the portals. They steal the camp. Hydra just doesn't have anything where he can go. He has no room to move. And Neon is just like standing there attempting to get some damage in. He actually is getting a lot of hits and he's delivering quite a punch. The problem is they cannot translate that into kills.
Yeah, it's going to come down to Greymane to get those kills later on. Temporal Loop into Explosion to a Greymane go for the throat can be enough to burn down one target, in particular Lucio, but the Force of Wills should be here from Hasselhoff.
Just to put damage numbers into perspective here real quickly, we have on the side of Team Liquid, the biggest damage dealer is with 9,000, with 10,000 now Gul'dan. On the side of Synergy, we have 24,000 for Neon and 15,000 for Greymane. So much higher numbers when it comes to damage. The problem is it doesn't translate into kills. Nobody forces these kills in, and Lucio just simply uses the opportunity to heal everybody up again.
Yep, that's where the opportunity comes in. In fact, Lucio has 25,000 healing. Now, Team Liquid goes for an aggressive play on this fort. There is pylons set up, so they will be forced to retreat here. Whenever the pylons are being overcharged, get out of the fight. They don't look too scary at first, but the next thing you know, you're at half health, and then you're dying as the opposing team is chasing you down.
Cocoon being used for Nubarak also now over the sustain that he could have.
Ooh, I like it. Cocoon on Medivh, and then you can blow people up with Temporal Loop and go for the throat.
Yeah, but that needs a lot of coordination.
I believe.
In theory, you are absolutely right. If you can drop Medivh and get a good Cocoon in, and then you use the rest of your, I mean, everything that you have in your arsenal. You used to go for the throw, the Temporal Loop, the Chromie gets the hits in. That would be fantastic. I just think that it is way too complex to pull that off properly in the fights where you need it. And Team Liquid has killed the probe again. We are also looking at level 13 advantage. 4 kills against 0. They eliminate every fort on the map. Liquid is looking solid here.
Yeah, and just to go back to that, you see this whole layer type of aggression coming from Synergy, Cocoon onto Medivh, into Temporal Loop, and to go for the throat to get a kill. How do you stop it if you're Hasu Wobs? You stay in bird form. That's all you do.
Exactly.
And they never can use Temporal Loop. So as long as he's keeping an eye on the heroics, as he should, he'll be in a great spot to make sure that that never happens.
Yep, Medivh going full, I believe I can fly here. Flies around, gets some vision, and enjoys the good life. Goes in for a quick interrupt, as we can see here right now, but they are looking quite strong. Blue Web Weavers have been snuck in though. Rhaegar is being followed here. No leap just yet. Sepka is on the run. And you could really see that Darkman was waiting for the cooldown of Leaf to come back and was thinking about an engage.
He was breathing heavily there. He's like, gotta get away from there, dude. That Sonya coming in there for that big old Leaf. Dude, she's scary, man. There it is.
There we go again. Jumps in, and that's a double kill right there. The fear coming in too. Yeah, that engage, so good.
And now Team Liquid has a free defense here. They can single down in the top lane, and they are doing so. Everyone else starts in the middle, and then they layer their aggression to defend the bottom lane. This is going to be a poor Web Weaver push for Synergy.
Yeah, a very poor one at that. One already defeated at the top lane, and nothing has been gained yet either. And that is going to be the end of this attack. And in the meantime, we are seeing the rest of Team Liquid just once again rotating around. If they can kill power here, that would be a disaster. 42 gems, if that is lost, that would be so bad for them. And they are wrapping around from all angles. Blumby wants to have the lockdown, misses the Howling Blast though. They still go for him. Cleanse is there. There's the Ancestral. They desperately try to save those gems. Blumby himself now saved by Hazovs as Synergy is trying to fight.
Synergy turns it around. The Force of Will is out though. Medivh on the right side. Cocoon has been used. Not going to be able to be helpful here. There are members diving in the back line. Dark Mach leading the charge. He has hit his E button and he is being a terror.
Norok going in, attempting a kill. We have Leap ready. Again, he jumps in for the probe, takes him down. Hydra eliminated, and that's another kill for Team Liquid. Sonya doing work here, and they just siege up on that keep at that bot lane. Drop the well. Power still with all those gems, but this is 7 kills against 0, and a 3-level lead for Team Liquid.
Team Liquid starting to take the game and run out of control here. Synergy will have 1 more to 2 more tries here to actually get a fight that works out for them. It's been difficult, but they still have a chance to blow up a target. Do remember that Chromie and Greymane together, if they're able to pull off their heroics, can eliminate a target. It's all about Hasselwobs. Hasselwobs has to play lights out for the rest of the game.
Yeah, at this point though, I mean, what can Synergy do here? They don't get a kill. They poke and poke and poke, but they cannot translate that into an actual kill. If they gain some momentum with a late game kill, can get a turn and maybe even make a play for a boss, there's always a chance to come back here. But they are now on 13 talent, and they will fall behind with another talent in just a moment. This is the best fight they can get for a long, long time. And it's not looking pretty. Desperately, Power is trying to turn those 52 gems in.
Yeah, I think the thing that they're trying to do there is bait in Team Liquid into a fight. Okay, there it is. There's the engage. We're going to have the big Leyland Seal on the back left corner. Hasselwobs does connect it. Cocoon's been used, but immediately Team Liquid burns that down. Darkmonk jumps in with a leap. He focuses Rhaegar. Rhaegar living here. Sefka praying, please no one attack me. He falls.
Oh my god. Oh, the gems. All that bling bling on the ground and nobody there to pick it up. Neon is trying to save it, but that's a triple kill. Probia is eliminated once more, and Rhaegar dying there too. It looked so good for Rhaegar for a second. He gets the shield, everything is moving away, but then it's just another hit by Hazorps that takes him on. And that's 10 kills against 0, and it's a boss play.
Boss play here, they also can do a turn-in, so they can also get a boss pushing in the top left, they can get big 3 web weavers pushing in, and they can potentially move in for keeps here at 13 minutes. And they are going to start their rotation. Darkmark in the front side, looking for anyone that might be coming in for a rotation. That opens up Team Liquid to turn in their gems, and we will now have web weavers pushing in all 3 lanes.
Team Liquid extremely dominant here today. They're looking much better than in the last match against the Playing Ducks, so this is very cool what we're seeing from them. On the first map, I don't want to say they struggled, but they definitely gave the opponent a few more openings. But what we saw on Cursed and what we are now seeing on Tomb of the Spider Queen is fantastic, very well coordinated play, and they are capitalizing on every single small mistake their opponent makes. So yeah, they are looking strong here. Again, aiming for the keep and potentially more.
Yeah, at this point, Neon is just praying for some shots here. He's going for Hail Marys in the back right there. Nerox did pick up the talent that gives him spell power whenever he cues the opposing hero, so he doesn't take much damage. So it's mainly Lucio or Sonya that's the focus, but they have a 3-level lead, which means there's not going to be an opportunity to really land that W into Q combo. Team Liquid rotating in the middle here to start moving on to another keep.
And they have all their ult stuff. They can go for the leap again. They can also set this up with a good lane line seal, so we'll have to watch for Medivh and for Sonya for the engage here. Arthas will be ready to follow it up. And let's not forget about Gul'dan and that Horrify. So many kills were already guaranteed by Gul'dan moving in with a quick ult there at the end. Neon is poking away as much as he can, but there's the lane line seal.
There it is. Darkmonk has the leap available. He's looking at Sepka. He lands it. Rhaegar falls. Gravy on the back left being the lone puppy here is hoping to go for an auto attack, hitting Blumby on the left.
This is such a brutal combo. Getting the Horrify, and that's a guaranteed hit on the leap. So you already eat damage quite a bit, then comes the Horrify, your hero moves in the direction, Sonya says thank you very much, that's a kill, and goes in. This is crazy strong.
Caldor, there are 3 keeps that are no longer existing for Synergy. They only have their solo core, and they are praying for a defense. Hydra's got caught here by the back right. We're going to have Arthas finally coming in with a kill with Frostmourne. That's going to be a takedown. 4-level lead. Oh man, even Greymane falling.
Team Liquid is turning Tomb of the Spider Queen into a graveyard, obliterating hero after hero. This is a complete stomp at this point, a 4-level lead. They go for the core. Synergy just not strong enough today to take down Team Liquid. And we have the Red Team going for the core here, looking extremely strong. They will finish this off. Rhaegar falling towards the end now as well. And this is a GG as Team Liquid takes a 3-0.
Team Liquid looking decisive and very strong today. This is what we needed to see from them. The last couple of weeks we've had our doubts because of Trick Esports and Playing Ducks taking them to very far Game 5 series, but today Team Liquid seems to be a team that has it all figured out.
And that combo looked so strong. You have a cleanse against you, but you just go for Rhaegar, you Horrify, Sonya jumps in, that's a confirmed kill against the support. Once he's out, you just take the fight from there. The rest of the team moves up together with you. There's always Splendor ready to drop his ult, drop the sound barrier. Didn't even have to in those last few fights. Very well done by Team Liquid. And Horrify leap seems like a very scary thing.
Yeah, it does seem very frightening, especially when you have the composition that Synergy had. It really enables that type of play style. Having 2 backlines that are very squishy with the Probius and the Chromie, their health bars are very minuscule. If you do get the engage that you want and there's no protection due to a solo warrior like a Nubarak, it's going to happen every single time. Synergy just felt like maybe they could have had a second warrior in that slot in the bottom. I mean, if they had a Johanna, maybe that may have been a bit different.
Yeah, but Team Liquid looking so strong today, it's the question if that would have really made a difference with how well Team Liquid played here today. But Synergy trying a lot, they are experimenting here a bit, trying to just like find angles against opponents. They have faith in Probus, as you could see. It's the second time they used the hero, but they lost both of the games where they utilized the probe.
Yeah, and it's actually, looking at the first game, it was on Sky Temple. That was a Probius game that went pretty well. It just seems towards the end of it didn't work out. But here you can see where Probius might have problems when you have these hard engaged compositions.
And that was the reason why I really didn't think they would go for Probius. At the beginning when the game started, I was like, yes, that might be something. And then I see the first picks for Team Liquid. I'm like, yes, these rotations on such a small map are going to put so much pressure on it, and that's what happened in the end, especially since it was also enabled through Leap and, of course, Medivh with the portals.
Well, you have to commend them, obviously, though. This is going to game number 3. The first 2 games just did not go well for Synergy, and they're, you know what? They're like, all right, we're going to game number 3. Let's play something that we're comfortable with. Maybe it works out, because if you get ahead with that composition, you get Chromie, Greymane, you're able to actually hit those temporal loops and focus down targets that don't get force of willed, you're in a pretty good spot. The next thing you know, you have Pro Ace that's clearing out lanes, setting up for big web weaver pushes, and that could be a threat. That would be a snowball composition. So don't mind the pick happening. It just did not pan out at all for Synergy.
It just feels like they were hoping to get a bit more wave clear and just pressure in general through Probius. And that didn't happen because especially Gul'dan worked really well against Probius. And also the rest of the team were always setting up these ganks, which really limited what Hydra could do.
Oh, we're working on getting Splendor set up here so we can talk to him about the matchup in particular. Let's actually see if Splendor is ready to go. Splendor, can you hear me? Hang on. He's still setting up here. We're about to get ready. There he is. Splendor, how's it going, buddy? First up, congratulations on your win. You guys are 10-0.
Yeah, I mean, good score.
Give me a little excitement, man. That's freaking awesome.
Another day in the office.
I'm actually quite happy that we managed to get 3-0 unlike the last 2 times.
Yeah, I actually want to talk to you about that. There's been some doubt the last couple weeks after the Western Clash that maybe Team Liquid is starting to falter. What's it like to be able to come out today, shut down Synergy, and kind of maybe quiet those doubts a little bit?
I mean, yeah, it feels pretty good. So when we started playing in part 2, we had this close series against Tricked, and we felt like Tricked is really good right now. But then we had a close series against Playing Ducks as well, and then we thought, oh, maybe it wasn't Tricked, maybe it's us. What's going on? But now that we've beaten Synergy pretty easily, I feel good again.
Awesome, good to hear. And I'm going to ask you, because next week you are going to be hitting the other big guys, Dingtaz and Fnatic. Are you prepared for it?
I hope so. It will be a very hard week. In part 1, we beat both of them, and I will be really happy if we beat them again, which that will kind of secure our first place, I would say. So it is the most important week of part 2.
All right, well, we look forward to it. Over to Caldor.
First of all, congratulations, of course, to the win. But I have one question, especially about the last map. This combo that we just saw there with Leap, capitalizing on the ley line seal, and especially Horrify into Leap, is that something you guys practiced? Or did you just look at the composition that Synergy had and you decided, okay, we're going to switch it up a little bit and go for hard engage?
Yeah, we just looked at their composition and we were thinking, not only do they have a lot of targets to leap on, which will secure us an easy kill, but also if we ley line even one of them, the other heroes can't really help. So it's very easy to pick them off.
It was incredibly frightening to watch that, especially Hydra does probably not like that combo too much as well as Sevka. But just in general, you guys are starting to pick a lot more Vikings as well. Do you feel like Vikings and also Abathar, we have a lot of these specialists starting to make a bit of a comeback. We've seen that obviously Greymane rise in priority, which enables a bit of that Abathar play. Do you think that going forward we're going to see Vikings and Abathar more regularly in HGC Europe?
So I wouldn't say that Abathar and Vikings are the strongest right now, but they are good enough to be able to pick them up. And I feel like we as a team, we have also upskills the Vikings got, so every time it fits, it means that we win for free.
All right, that's a strong statement right there. Thanks.
I want a player on my team that can win for free if I just pick up a hero. So again, you guys are facing Fnatic next week. Give me early thoughts. 3-0, 3-1, is it going to be a 3-2 series?
I mean, I would really like to say 3-0, but realistically, it's more of a 3-2. It'll be a hard series.
Awesome. Well, Splendor, it's great to hear from you. Thank you so much. Congratulations on your 10-0. Do me a favor and celebrate before you go too ham for next week, because you guys deserve it.
I will.
Awesome. Congratulations to Team Liquid. 10-0 right now. Absolutely